All right, guys, welcome back. So we are Tuesday, January 3rd. We are going to go through Heartbeat by David Yu and talk about some quiz review. So to prepare yourself for this quiz, I would reread or re-listen to Heartbeat by David Wu. And we have been talking about how people's unique points of view and experiences affect the way that they view the world. So, at the end of this lesson in the next 2 days, we'll be monitoring our reading comprehension by reading, summarizing, and analyzing Heartbeat by David Yu. So, we have some vocab review. Our words were moot, an adjective having little or no relevance, futile, useless, or pointless, sarcastic, the use of words that mean the opposite of what you really want to say in order to insult someone, show irritation, or to be funny. And then claustrophobic, having an extreme or irrational fear of small or confined spaces. So, do you think layer clothing was moot for Dave? Do you think that it was a moot for Dave to layer his clothing? I would say yes, because it wasn't really doing anything. In his mind, he thought that people thought he was bigger. But I think also as the story went on, we know that it was just making him sick and he kind of just looked ridiculous. Setting that would make someone claustrophobic, I think, would be an airplane, an elevator, an attic, a crawl space, somewhere really small where you would feel like people were really close to you or that maybe you couldn't breathe and it was too tight for you. So you can, like I said, listen or read Heartbeat. But some questions to consider when you're reviewing for your test is how does the story being told in first person affect our understanding of what's going on? And I think a big way is that it's really just coming from Dave or Heartbeat's perspective. So we are just hearing him say that his friends called him Heartbeat, that he felt, we know that he felt really insecure and slighted by this. And we also don't know how true some of the things he's saying are because he tells us multiple times that the way that people are looking at him is different, that Sarah must respect him and feel safer. Um, but we don't know if that's actually true. People might have just thought he looked ridiculous because at one point, Sarah, when she touched his arm, said she couldn't even actually feel his arm because he had so many layers of clothes on. And then the question is, what did Dave begin to realize as he says, I suddenly realized what I really looked like at this party. All this because I hated my nickname. I think that he asks himself this question because he's starting to really understand the lengths that he went to change himself when he really was better off just being himself. It was okay for him to be who he was, and he didn't have to think he was scrawny. And he kind of says, like, I'm lean and mean, and I don't have to care about this nickname. So I'm going to go through a Kahoot with you guys as well to practice for this quiz coming up. All right, so let's do some heartbeat review. So the author of Heartbeat is that Virginia Hamilton. You know that that's David Yu. What is Heartbeat's real name? Wow, we've had PowerPoints, we've heard it now. Is it Danny, Dennis, Dalton, or Dave? I hope everybody would be with me. It is Dave. Why is Dave called Heartbeat? Because Dave's very fast, because Dave has an irregular heartbeat, because Dave's very emotional, or because Dave is very thin. They say that they can actually see his heartbeat through his chest, which I think that they were just exaggerating. Heartbeat has a crush named Sally, Sarah, Samantha, or Sadie. That was Sarah. All right. So, weight gainers, shakes, egg whites, yams, and cottage cheese are examples of things Dave and Sarah ate on their first date, things Dave eats before soccer games, things Dave ate to stay fit, or things Dave ate to gain weight. And we know that he was actively trying to gain that weight. Sarah told Dave he looked bigger when he accidentally wore two shirts. He had just left the weight room. She saw him at the party, or she went to his soccer game. When was that moment? Yeah, so he gets that light bulb up in his head. Oh, maybe I should start layering all my clothes and I'll look bigger. What did Heartbeat do once he realized exercising and overeating did not help him gain weight? Did he accept himself and forget about Sarah? Stood up to all the kids who teased him for being too thin? Used angles and filters when he took selfies to appear larger? Or changed the perception of himself by wearing extra layers? Yeah, so the first thing he did was he really focused on foods and not acting, not moving as much. And then it was, I'm going to start wearing a ton of clothes so I look bigger if I can't get bigger. What did Dave do when he realized that multiple layers of clothing changed people's perception? Did he continue to wear only two shirts, continued adding multiple shirts, realized being himself was better, or continued adding additional shirts as well as sweatpants? Dave was bundled up with all kinds of these clothes. So, yeah, definitely. Dave's day wearing extra layers was officially over when his mom found out he was ruining his clothes, when he nearly passed out from overheating at a party, when his real friends told him they liked him better thin, when his teachers realized that he was wearing multiple shirts. Yeah, he overheated at this party. He sweat so much that one of the red shirts he wore like dyed his other shirts pink. All right, last one. One major theme of Heartbeat is only the popular kids' opinion matters. Try to impress them. Accept yourself. Changing to impress people does not work. Do what you must to fit in with everyone at all costs. Avoid girls named Sarah. Most are just plain rude. And I think that's a theme that we should always think about, that accepting yourself is the most important thing and loving yourself as the way you are. So, you should be able to monitor the comprehension of this story, reading, summarizing, and analyzing heartbeats. And we are going to take the quiz for this tomorrow in class on Wednesday. So please reread and review for the quiz tomorrow. You can listen, like I said, or read the PDF. You can replay this Kahoot to study. And I will see you tomorrow for class.